The most embarrassing wannabe P*MP got exposed today. We're diving into the story of Kelpie, a 19-year-old who's gone viral for all the wrong reasons. From controversial podcast appearances to claims of living the pimp lifestyle, this video breaks down everything you need to know. Kelpie, a 19-year-old currently going viral for his attempts to portray himself as a pimp, has become a controversial figure on social media. Despite his efforts to present himself as a smooth-talking and irresistible personality, he's primarily receiving attention for all the wrong reasons. Every comment section on social media is filled with criticism and mockery directed at him. Kelpie's bold decision to appear on the No Jumper podcast twice to defend his lifestyle ended disastrously, with his second appearance culminating in a physical altercation where he was beaten by Adam's co-host. Kelpie's ambition isn't to be a womanizer, but to recruit women to solicit themselves for his benefit, a grim reality that highlights a broader issue. Sadly, he isn't alone in this endeavor. Platforms like TikTok and YouTube are currently overrun with so-called internet pimps or e-pimps. These individuals range from wannabe Andrew Tates to old-school fanboys and self-proclaimed business gurus who exploit various modern hustles like crypto, dropshipping, and OnlyFans management to profit from others, particularly women. They're all trying to get their share of what they perceive as easy money. The world was introduced to Lil Kelpie 3 months ago through an interview posted by Soft White Underbelly. His appearance was strikingly odd. He wore what looked like a cheap pimp Halloween costume, complete with a gaudy silk suit and a fake gold chain with a $sign pendant. Accompanying him were two 18-year-old girls who seemed uncomfortable and possibly under the influence of drugs. This initial presentation did little to convince viewers of Kelpie's legitimacy as a pimp. Instead, it painted a picture of desperation and exploitation. Media often portrays pimps as charismatic hustlers who can effortlessly attract and control women. However, the reality is far darker, involving manipulation, abuse, and exploitation. Viewers quickly saw through Kelpie's facade, questioning what he actually did for the girls. Kelpie claimed that his role involved managing money, providing security, and taking care of the girls. He portrayed himself as a CEO-minded individual good at handling finances. Yet his situation told a different story. He admitted they were homeless, a glaring contradiction to his claims of financial acumen. Kelpie's openness about their drug use further eroded his credibility. He admitted that the girls used crystal meth, which they were already using before working with him. This admission made it even harder to believe that he had their best interests at heart. The girls, Ashley and Crystal, revealed that they were introduced to work because of Kelpie, a fact that suggested he might have coerced them into this life. Kelpie insisted that they were working by choice, not by force, but this did little to quell the growing suspicions and criticisms. Kelpie's encounter with Sharp, a retired pimp with real street credibility, on the No Jumper podcast, was a turning point. Sharp, who also gained fame through Soft White Underbelly, was furious with Kelpie. He saw Kelpie as a poser who glamorized a dangerous lifestyle without truly understanding its harsh realities. Sharp's anger was rooted in his perception that Kelpie was disrespecting the pimp game and endangering vulnerable women in the process. Kelpie's admission that his mother drove him to the podcast and his vague responses further discredited him in Sharp's eyes. Sharp's frustration wasn't just about Kelpie's claims, but also about his potential. Sharp saw a young man with a promising future, now squandering it by trying to live a life he didn't understand and dragging others down with him. Kelpie's involvement in managing his girls' OnlyFans accounts became a focal point of criticism. This involvement is part of what people call the internet pimp game, which includes various types of men exploiting the platform for profit. These men range from old-school fanboys to wannabe Andrew Tates and side-hustle YouTubers, all treating the commodification of women's bodies as a business. Critics argue that these men are exploiting women for their financial gain, while the men themselves see it as a legitimate business. The pushback often comes when these individuals try to build a pimp image, drawing moral and ethical concerns. The question arises, what do these men actually do that the women can't do for themselves? Kelpie's claim that he helps the girls with mental health issues and financial management sounds more like an unhealthy dependency than a business transaction. Kelpie's honesty about his situation often gets him into trouble. He admitted that the girls could probably make the same amount of money on their own without his help, This honesty highlights the questionable value he adds to their lives. Other e-pimps claim to scale girls' OnlyFans pages by managing all aspects of their accounts, from posting and promoting to messaging subscribers. They create the illusion that the girls are personally engaging with their fans, often using teams to handle the messaging and social media engagement. Despite the public humiliation and physical altercation on No Jumper, Kelpie didn't give up. He continued to appear on various podcasts, trying to explain and defend his lifestyle. Adam from No Jumper eventually gave him a fair interview, allowing Kelpie to articulate his vision for making money through OnlyFans and traditional pimping. Kelpie claimed he wanted to maintain the traditional pimp game while leveraging online platforms to generate income. He seemed to be trying to gain money and attention through his music and YouTube channel. However, Kelpie's reliance on attention for his business is problematic. His only significant claim to fame has been the viral clip of him getting beaten on No Jumper. This reliance on controversy and public attention raises concerns about his future. As the initial shock and interest fade, Kelpie might resort to more extreme measures to stay relevant. His business model, which depends on being in the public eye, is unsustainable without continuous attention and controversy. Kelpie's story is a cautionary tale about the dangers of seeking fame and fortune through questionable means. It highlights the exploitation and manipulation often hidden behind flashy personas and grand claims. The young man who once had potential is now caught in a cycle of seeking validation and attention at the expense of his integrity and the well-being of those around him. To understand Kelpie's journey, it's essential to look deeper into the various elements of his narrative. His initial rise to fame on social media was not due to any significant achievement, but rather his controversial claims and the spectacle of his persona. Dressed in outlandish costumes and accompanied by young women who seemed reluctant to be there, Kelpie's image was more a caricature than a credible figure. This visual presentation set the stage for the widespread ridicule and skepticism he faced. The revelations about how the girls were introduced to sex work were particularly damning. Both Ashley and Crystal stated that they were not sex workers before meeting Kelpie, which suggested that he had coerced or manipulated them into this life. Despite his insistence that they worked by choice, this aspect of the story painted him in a highly negative light. It raised ethical and moral questions about his role and intentions, further fueling public outrage. Kelpie's encounter with Sharp on the No Jumper podcast was a critical moment. Sharp, a former pimp with real experience and credibility, confronted Kelpie about his claims. Sharp's anger and frustration were evident as he accused Kelpie of disrespecting the pimp game and endangering women. This confrontation highlighted a fundamental issue. Kelpie was attempting to glamorize a lifestyle he didn't understand, and in doing so, he was putting others at risk. Kelpie's perseverance in the face of public humiliation is noteworthy. Despite being physically assaulted and ridiculed, he continued to appear on various platforms to tell his story. This persistence suggests a deep need for validation and recognition. His subsequent interviews, including a fair one with Adam from No Jumper, provided him an opportunity to articulate his vision. He expressed a desire to combine traditional pimping with modern online platforms to generate income. However, this vision is fraught with challenges. Kelpie's reliance on public attention and controversy to sustain his business model is unsustainable. The initial shock value of his story is fading, and without continuous attention, his relevance will diminish. This reliance on controversy poses a risk. To stay in the public eye, Kelpie may resort to increasingly extreme measures, which could further damage his credibility and integrity. Kelpie's story serves as a broader commentary on the dangers of seeking fame and fortune through dubious means. It highlights the exploitation and manipulation often hidden behind flashy personas and grand claims. The young man who once had potential is now trapped in a cycle of seeking validation and attention at the expense of his integrity and the well-being of those around him. His journey is a cautionary tale, warning against the allure of easy money and the pitfalls of trying to live a life built on exploitation. If this video was interesting, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more content. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so updates are never missed. What are your thoughts on Kelpie's story? Leave a comment below and share opinions. See you in the next video.